Alright, I had some trouble with discs, so I missed the actual making of some stuff, but I'm going to try to catch you up on what I was doing. This is red Van Aken clay that I melted down in this pie pan. I didn't have another one of those aluminum pans, and I really needed to get it done, so I've just sacrificed a pie pan to the stop motion gods. I'll probably do another one too because I need to melt down some green, so I'll have one pie pan of each color. But I don't make pie anyway, so what the hell. I did that so I could dunk these pipe cleaners in there while it was sort of molten clay. This is going to be his tongue. Get a close-up on that. I really like this one. The texture on it is very tongue-like to me, so when I pull the tongue out of its mouth, this is the one that you're going to see. What else have I been doing? These are obviously his eyeballs, so when they come out also, they'll come out. These are pipe cleaner glued into the backs of these little ball bearings. These are his nuts. So when they also appear, that's what they'll be. All the same stuff. I mean, these were drilled a little hole in the back of the ball bearing, glued a pipe cleaner in there, dunked them in the red clay. The clay coated all of this stuff too, so I just wiped the clay off of the plastic parts so you could see it. What else? All of these little cones over here. I don't know if you've seen those. I think that was on the other disc. These cones that I've made are going to be all like trumpet parts for the trumpet section of the song that I'm doing. So I'll just pop them out like the mouths when I get to a different part of the song that needs a different horn. Here's a replacement arm that when he gets his arm ripped off, it's going to be that one. Here's a couple of hands. I still have to put hands on him, so those are his hands. These are some broken bones that are going to stick out of the someplace. I'm not sure exactly where yet. Let's see. Let me move this over a little bit more. This is half a rubber ball. I cut this in half. I glued this nut on the back of it, and then I glued this chunk of a threaded rod that I cut off into that, screwed it in there and then glued it into that. Glued the whole thing to a bunch of pantyhose. That way I'll put this threaded rod through the hole that I would put in the bottom of this coffee cup. All I really need to see of this coffee cup is this section right here. So all of this stuff where it's all cracked apart when I was drilling it, that won't be visible. And it won't be much of a structural issue either. In fact, I think the clay around it will probably help hold it together even more than this glue, and this glue is industrial strength, so I don't think it's going to come apart. So I'm going to put this through there, glue the pantyhose around the top of this, and then using the same wing nut I would use on the tie-downs, I can animate this thing to go up and down out of this. So when I hit this thing like a drum, you'll see the drum head go in on the impact, come out, and then fix itself for each of the percussions. I'm pretty excited about that. I have to let that glue dry, then I'm going to coat this in green, probably the same way I did this, these tongues and things, so that it'll be like the same color as him, and then I'll be sculpting him around here. Here's part of his head. The bottom part I didn't put on because the joke is that he's had this thing shoved into his mouth, so he's sort of over here, and like his mouth is kind of wrapped around this area. This thing's kind of sticking out of his mouth, and he's sort of over here, like, you know. The rest of his body will be the other puppet. You can't even see what I'm talking about. I just told you all of that. the thing is that I'm going to shove this into his mouth. You won't see this. It'll just jump cut, and it'll already be in there. And he'll just sort of be sitting here like this with his mouth around this area. So you see the handle sticking out of his mouth. You see that it's a bit of a coffee cup. The body of him will be strung off in the background here, and that body will actually be the other puppet. I'm just going to sort of lay it in there and line it up so that you can't see that it's a whole puppet and hide his head and all of that stuff. It'll be faster and easier to do it that way. So what do I got to do? I got to make eyes for him. Make this whole thing. Once I get the clay on these pantyhose, glue them on here. Then I'll be able to animate this as soon as the glue dries, and then yeah, and then I have to build a trumpet rig, which is just going to be like a piece of threaded rod, I think, coming up out of the ground. I'll put it like in a little block, glue a little nut onto a block or something, and have it come up through the tie-down hole I did on that little raised platform. That way I'll be able to hold the guy when he turns into a trumpet, when all of these buccal parts are coming out of him. I'll be able to hold him in one hand, play him, and then if I need to adjust or anything or whatever, I'm sure that he's not going to go all over the screen. I think that's about it. I put his diaper on, and I have built the most dangerous storage system in America over here. You want to take a look at it. It's pretty rickety. It's doing its job. You know, I just needed a place to keep my junk, so I built this shelf system over here out of scrap wood I had laying around, and it's like the most dangerous. These are the most dangerous shelves ever built, I swear. At any minute, they're going to just burst into flames.